1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome to the Kayfabe Is Dead Podcast, episode 19. I am your host, and I always say host like there's other people around me. I am the only one on this podcast, and I am Christian, the voice of the youth, and we are here today to give my quick thoughts on WWE Payback, the Raw branded pay-per-view. Did I like it? Did I love it? Did I hate it? Was I in the middle? I liked it. I thought it was a really good show. Just to get into it right away, I'm not gonna really take no time. It's 30 seconds in already. It goes by fast, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna just get right into it. Payback started, well, it started with the pre-show. I ain't watched the pre-show. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care for the pre-show. Not gonna care for the pre-show. I kind of tuned in with the Miz and Finn Balor's segment. I don't know what they're doing with either or right now. Are they gonna have Miz going to this feud with Ambrose? Or are they gonna have him going to this feud with Finn or Bray Wyatt, or Ambrose Bray Wyatt, or Finn and Bray Wyatt? Or they gotta figure it out. They gotta answer some questions tonight on Monday Night Raw. But I decided, why not give my opinion now so you guys could get it before you watch Monday Night Raw. Hopefully you're listening before Monday Night Raw. If you're not, if you're listening on the YouTube channel, definitely subscribe to our SoundCloud account. All of the above, ENT, and where you probably get the post earlier. And yeah, that's just that. It's a lot easier to post on SoundCloud than YouTube just because of how long it takes. But complications over with. Now let's talk about it. Payback started off the main show, I should say. Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship match, which I thought was a way better match than Mania. And I liked it. I did not agree with the finish, but I liked it. Unless they make the finish work in a different way. So let's get into it. We had... I always give just a few highlights of each match, if the match had highlights at all, and just maybe we just talk about the finish if that's all the match really was. So for this match, some spots we had a pop-up powerbomb, reverse into the walls of Jericho, and then KO got a finger on the rope. Reminiscent to Mania when he got that one finger on the rope. I think it was his pointer or pinky, or it has to be his pointer. But and he got that finger on the rope one more time. Jericho, pissed off, targets the finger, rams it on this, rams it on that, puts it in between steel steps, runs into it. It's the finger was done. I think I want to say the hand even looked bruised, to be honest, but maybe it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was just a placebo in my head. Who really knows? But after that, Kevin Owens tried putting him in another pop-up bomb. This time his finger, it kind of sounds weird to say, but his finger didn't hold up. So it was reversed into a Walls of Jericho once again. And Owens reaching for the rope, tries to get that finger on it. And he fails. And he loses the title. The new face of America loses the title to a guy who's about to tour with his goddamn rock band in a few days. I didn't like the finish. No covering up this one. I didn't like the finish. And I thought it was a great match, though. Very good match. Very good way to start off the card. The only excuse to get out of this, but it still does not make the finish better, I say have Kevin Owens either beat Chris Jericho Tuesday night or destroy Chris Jericho Tuesday night, leaving Chris Jericho out of action. And then either Kevin Owens getting his title back or that title goes extremely vacant. Therefore, it's going to be Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for a vacant title rather than for the title. Or, Kevin Owens just wins it back in his rematch clause. That's what I say they should do. If they do anything else, I will be very disappointed. I don't want Chris Jericho in a feud with AJ Styles right now. And that AJ Styles and Kevin Owens was something I wanted to see, as it was the main feud on SmackDown. As much as I like Jinder Mahal, truthfully, it's that main feud on SmackDown. So definitely hope Kevin Owens wins it back by Tuesday night. And if not, I'm going to be very upset. Now, next up, we had Austin Aries versus Neville. And it was an impressive showing from Aries. And my girlfriend was watching this pay-per-view with me until she fell asleep, because it did kind of start getting downhill. But, I mean, she's also not as heavy as a viewer I am. She watches here and there. I show her a few matches that I love. And then, yeah, she kind of knows what's going on. I always keep her updated. But anyways, so she was watching this match, and she was just really impressed with both of them. And she was like, yo, like, they're doing a lot of cool shit. And, I mean, that's what cruiserweight action is for the most part. Even though, you know, Neville, due to the fact that he's a heel, he doesn't do a lot of cruiserweight flippy shit. And Austin Aries isn't really a cruiserweight flippy shit kind of guy. But she was impressed by the match. I was impressed by the match. Aries gave a hell of a performance. They had some crazy spots. Too much for me to name, to be honest. They had a flipping top rope powerbomb that was vicious from Aries. And then he put that into the last chancery, and as he had it tough and locked, and Neville couldn't go to the ropes. He couldn't get that finger on it. Word to Kevin Owens. He grabbed the ref and ran the ref into them and got disqualified. So Aries won by disqualification, but still, your cruiserweight champion, Neville, which I like. I like the finish. A way to prolong the feud. I don't think there was any reason to have Neville win clean against Aries, or had Neville lose the title. So I think this was the best scenario for both of them. So I'm really feeling that one too. So 2 for 2, I guess, for Payback so far. I don't know how to describe it. Then we had the match. Looking at the card now, I think this was match of the night for me, truthfully honest. No, Austin Aries versus Neville was really good too. Either one of these matches were matches of the night. Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys. And then we had a lack of promo packages on this whole Payback. Let me just say that. I mean, there wasn't really much to show with this, but I, as one who enjoys promo packages, the lack of it in this pay-per-view really made it feel like a B show. Like, they didn't even have a promo package for KO versus Chris Jericho. Austin Aries versus Neville could have got one. Sheamus and Cesaro, they could have had a promo package with just the Hardys alone, and maybe they could have made something work. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, yeah, I understand you can't do that one. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe, I feel like they didn't have a promo package for. And then they only had it for Bray versus Orton and Roman and Strowman. So promo packages do a lot for me, so the lack of them really kind of got me tight. But for the Sheamus and Cesaro match against the Hardys, Sheamus absolutely murdered him. He kicked Jeff Hardy and had his tooth broken. The tooth went flying. I tried to look at the video to see where it went, and I wasn't able to find it. If you guys were, let me know and like maybe give me a timestamp or something, because I was trying to see it in the air, because it was a sick kick. As soon as it happened, you saw Sheamus. He kind of felt bad, and it was a vicious kick. And then we had Cesaro doing a crazy leg drop on Jeff Hardy as well. He literally got his ass above the top ring rope. So you figure that it got to be like 5 feet. 4.5 feet. So that's vertical. I mean, maybe not vertical exactly, but it looked perfect. And we also had Cesaro swinging to Matt Hardy. And then my favorite commentary of the night came from Corey Graves, and he said, after this, he's going to be in a different universe. They're really teasing it. I don't know how deep they are in these negotiations with TNA. There was people saying that they did have it. The WWE had the gimmick. They bought it out, just a flat rate. Then Rebby Hardy denied it. So I don't know if she was just being, that little troll. Like maybe she was just, being sarcastic, or I don't know. I feel like I felt sarcasm in her tweets. But nevertheless, this was a really good match. We had a white noise from the second rope onto Matt Hardy. That was another good one. But then eventually Swanton Bomb on Sheamus's back as he was pinning Matt Hardy because he didn't see the tag. Wins him the match. Then we still got the same champions. I love it. Love the match. I loved what happened after even more. Went in to shake hands. I was like, okay, they're not going to do the heel turn. Because that's honestly what I thought was going to happen after really looking into this. Then, Hardys were just celebrating on top of the ring ropes. And there they come. Cesaro and Sheamus turn heel. Cesaro showing a lot of flair in him. And hopefully he could use that built-up aggression of not being used correctly into this heel program and his heel character. Because at first I didn't know how I feel about a Cesaro heel turn, just because he's Cesaro and you want to love him. But if he wasn't getting over not getting over. He was getting over. That wasn't the problem. But if he wasn't making noise as a face, maybe you put the guy as a heel. You know what I mean? And we know Vince loves every face has to be American and every heel has to be foreign, whether he's from Ireland, Switzerland, Bulgaria. Where's Jinder from? He's from Canada. Well, they do a lot of Canada heels too, but you guys know what I mean. So them turning heel, in my head I had mixed feelings about it, but when it happened, I was glad it did. So I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to the program that they're about to have, because now they could build a program with story. And we know going into Payback, this whole pay-per-view had no story, and that was the messed up part of it. Now we had Alexa Bliss versus Bayley in her hometown of San Jose. Bayley as over as she's ever been, well, in her hometown at least. And it was a pretty solid match as well. This was a card filled with solid matches. And I said that from my predictions. I said this is a great card on paper, but there has been no storyline development. And that's kind of where it kind of hindered it with all the non-promo packages. So it does come into play, and if this card had absolutely phenomenal storytelling and phenomenal story building and good promos and decent work going into this card, this could have been easily pay-per-view top 3 of the year for WWE standards. And they kind of just blew the game, sunk the ball. I feel like, I don't know. Anyways, they kind of just blew it. And they didn't really have great storytelling. So in this Alexa Bliss versus Bayley match, this was one of the matches that didn't need storytelling. So that was going to be fine in itself. So we had Bayley hit the Macho Man elbow that she used come WrestleMania to win the match. This didn't put Alexa Bliss down, unfortunately. And that hurt her because she broke out of the pin. And eventually it led to some basically sequences of Alexa Bliss aiming for Bayley's head, aiming for her skull. And this all came back to haunt her when Bayley had like a kind of roll-up pin. I don't know what to call it exactly. And when Alexa Bliss kicks out, Bayley runs her head right into the post, which leads to Bayley having no clue where she's at. And she gets hit with a DDT, and we got a new Raw Women's Champion in Alexa Bliss. Now, I do like Alexa Bliss, and I do like Bayley as well. And then this kind of got to me, and it kind of annoyed me. And I was like, the second time they did this, second time champions switch, and they have a wrong direction for it. And then I kind of sat with me for a second, and so we were all expecting the Bayley versus Banks, right? Come SummerSlam in Brooklyn, it felt right. So if they're gonna have it still, I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, if they're going to have it still, it's going to be the main women's feud. So that title will get overshined. So now I hope they don't have it unless there is a championship involved. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? That was next. Like, I was looking forward to it. Then I kind of realized, like, all right, listen. There's not as many women on the roster as men's, of course. Obviously, it's a men's dominant WWE. And they could do this feud anytime they want. So, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have to rush into it at all. These women are going to be on top of the women's wrestling for, you at least figure, 5 years. Banks has got to be in her 20s. Charlotte Flair is the oldest out of all of them. I think Banks is 24. Bayley's even younger. Oh, no, I think Bayley's actually older than Banks. But, Bayley, Banks, Charlotte, Lynch, Bliss, like, these are all young stars that are going to be around for a long time. So these feuds, at the end of the day, could wait. So I kind of realized that. And also, the reason I'm kind of upset about the finish is because they were just teasing it too much, and in every promo you kind of had Sasha subconsciously looking at that belt, so it kind of affected me there. But at the same time, I understand these women are going to be there forever, not forever, but you know what I mean, for some time. They don't got to rush into every feud that comes available. So you know what, mix it up now, Bayley and Banks and Charlotte been on top of the Raw roster forever. So Charlotte's gone. She's on SmackDown. We got a new head of the roster with Bliss. Bliss is great. Bliss is absolutely phenomenal. So her winning the first first girl who held both brand titles, belts, whatever you want to call it. Amazing. I'm really digging Bliss. So at the end of the day, shouts out to Bliss. She's a great worker in the ring and on the mic. So that's what we asked for. Now, the most highly debatable match, the most highly opinionated match, is going to be Bray versus Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton in a House of Horrors match. No championship on the line. Just, I don't know, I guess bragging rights in this case. So we were all wondering what this match will be, and we found out. It's going to be in, I guess, actual house, and it's Bray's house. So Randy Orton is heading over to Bray's house in a limousine with his shirt off in Randy Orton fashion. Okay, I guess. And then he gets inside the house, and we got tractors moving by itself, and I don't know. It was obviously taped scene, and it was something. I don't know how to get an opinion on this, to be honest. It almost felt like a cheesy horror movie, and that was the whole purpose. It was terrible, but it was supposed to be so terrible it was good, like the final deletion. And, we had a fight, and it led to a room with baby dolls hanging from the ceiling, and Bray Wyatt kept popping out and popping in and popping out of places. And eventually, a fridge was thrown on Randy Orton. And Bray Wyatt gets in a car to go back to the arena because the match has to end inside the ring. So the match comes back. And I kind of actually enjoyed the rest of the 2 minutes they had. And we had the Bollywood Boys come out, who they're not really calling them Bollywood Boys anymore. They're calling them the Singh Brothers. It was after Randy Orton hits his RKO. The Singh Brothers come out because it looks like Randy Orton is about to win and try to beat him down. Randy Orton gets the upper hand, almost falls into his sister Abigail. Wait, no, I think I got mixed up with that. Anyways, Jinder Mahal then comes out, hits Randy Orton I think 2 times with the titles. Sister Abigail, Randy Orton's done 1, 2, 3. I like the finish. I can't give my opinion on the match because I have no opinion. So if you want to love it, if you want to hate it, I understand both points. If you want to love it for the cheesy, campy, and it's different, and it was weird, and it was scary, and cool, I like that. You know what? I respect your opinion fully. But if you want to hate it because you don't care for them, because I didn't care for them, and it was just stupid, what I would have done personally is we need a new stipulation that can be a staple. When Hell in a Cell came out, from the first look of it, that's great. Money in the Bank, that's great. Elimination Chamber, that's great. Of course, we had some blemishes along the way, aka Punjabi Prison, what was it called? Punjabi Prison match? Something match, Punjabi Prison, I think it was called. One of them didn't even have Great Khali in, which was kind of weird. But that was obviously a fail. What else we had? I'm sure there was many more. I just can't remember them because that's what they are. They're unmemorable. Dean Ambrose one, Ambrose Asylum. I would have probably used a cage for this, to be honest, or do like something in the arena maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done exactly, but I would have did something that I could make a staple in WWE and have, in some years they could call a pay-per-view House of Horrors. You know what I mean? Like, we got Hell in a Cell now, and we need a new stipulation that is revigorating and refreshing, and this wasn't that. I don't want to see a House of Horrors match again. Unless it's like a really creative one and they got like a good story building into it. But as far as that goes, I don't want to see it. Undertaker had casket match, buried alive match. I love the buried alive match. Oh my god. Casket match. I do enjoy the casket match somewhat. Hell in a Cell. All these things. Not everybody could be Undertaker, but get that creativity going. Not saying that this wasn't creative, because it was, but we need a new stipulation, and maybe that's hard with this PG era. Maybe that's hard. Like, I missed the first blood matches, but of course, that's going back into the PG era. Nevertheless, I love the finish. I love Jinder Mahal coming out. Makes him look stronger. I think Jinder Mahal can be a heel to contend with and a heel to mess with. So, that's my thoughts on the House of Horrors match. Now, the heel that I thought was going to win, at least, Samoa Joe. He lost to Seth Rollins, but it was kind of like a fluke loss. Most of the match, he targeted the knee. And eventually, Rollins reversed a standing rear naked choke. And he reversed that into a pin. So, Rollins gets the victory. Probably the worst match of the day for me, to be honest. And it sucks that I'm saying that, because I said this was going to steal the show. If by all, eyes, at least. So, it didn't. And I think it was because of the story element. It had no story going into it, so I heard it. So, everything about this match didn't feel right. So, they need to definitely put some more oomph into this feud and do something, because I don't think it's over. But for the final moments of Payback, the main event, the one that's been built actually proper, Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out all taped up, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was falling asleep. That House of Horrors match, again, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I found it kind of boring, and I was kind of falling asleep, and I was snoozing, and I was going out and going to bed. But so for the very beginning of this match, I kind of fell asleep, and then I just you know when you're sleeping, but you could still hear, and you're still kind of aware of what's happening, like in the background, like you can still hear the music you're playing, or the video you're playing, or TV show you're watching, or whatever the case may be. That was happening. So I heard Roman Reigns' entrance, and I don't know who came out first. I don't know who came out last. I didn't hear the announcement, but I heard Roman Reigns' music. And then the bell rang, and it started, and then I just opened my eyes real quick, and I just saw Roman Reigns on the floor. And so apparently I missed some things. So I'm not going to lie to you. But I only missed a minute, really. But I did see the recovering highlights. Roman Reigns getting chokeslammed. Roman Reigns he was getting killed for the beginning of the match. He was all taped up, his ribs, his shoulder, everything. Taped up kind of looked badass, to be honest. Speaking of badass, real quick, Bayley looked like a badass today. Bayley looked absolutely great. Her outfit, the way she looked with the championship, her inflatable, wacky shit thing that Byron Saxon used to call it. I'm so glad I don't got to hear him say it. That one of them deflated the green one, and she helped it back up. She just looked like a badass. And my girlfriend popped for her. My girlfriend really likes Bayley. And then she hates Sasha Banks because she thinks I like her, even though that's not true. Just in case she's listening. Shh. Anyways, back to this match. Chokeslam on the table from Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns delivered I still am absolutely baffled when he hits his Samoan drop on Braun Strowman, because he obviously does it slow, so he could you could see the struggle. But I feel like doing that makes you really, really, really feel it. It's like when you're doing an exercise and you do it, the slower you do it, the more you feel. So for him to do that, this motherfucker's strong. That's what that's saying. Excuse my language, but goddamn. Hits a spear, that's not enough. A series of Superman punches, and the spear has been getting broken out of a lot lately. I felt like this occurrence has started happening since Roman Reigns came back from his suspension. So I want to say that if he didn't get punished for anything, that spear has become more vulnerable. We had Undertaker break out, and then Braun Strowman, he did the first match, and I think that was the first time I actually seen it happen. No, Rollins too, the first match when he came back. So few things I noted. But we had a standing triangle, the one that Braun Strowman used to use before he learned how to wrestle. And he turned that into a running power slam. That was a close near fall for that one. And now he hit another one, which I loved, and then ball game. Braun Strowman won. I loved it. Clean as a whistle. But then what he did to him after wasn't so clean. Ran Roman Reigns' face. He had the steel steps kind of on its side, so it was standing up almost. Ran Roman Reigns' face into that. Then he basically slammed Roman Reigns' he slammed the stairs, I should say, into his ribs rather than Roman Reigns to the stairs. He picked up the stairs and just let it fall on Roman Reigns' ribs, and it kind of looked like it actually hurt him. And there was blood coming out of, I think, Roman Reigns' mouth. Now, was that a blood packet that he used the last time when I think it was Triple H? I don't know, but it looked vicious, and I liked it. And I liked the match. Wasn't as good as Big Show versus Braun, so don't ever. It's not on that level. But good match, good way to end a good pay-per-view. I thought this pay-per-view was good. Better than the first, I think Fastlane it was. I hated Fastlane. Better than Fastlane. Not better than Elimination Chamber. Not better than Mania. But it's still, for a B pay-per-view that it is, I had fun with it. I liked it. I thought it was good. So, the only wrong I found in it was Chris Jericho winning. And I don't think they could reverse that wrong, but they can make that wrong right. Or more right than what it is now, I should say. As far as my predictions go, I did fucking terrible. I had Braun winning, so that was good. Had the Hardys winning. Had Neville, I guess I kind of lost with Neville, but I said no way Neville was walking out there, not champion. So I won with Neville. Get out of here. Had Neville winning. I lost with Bliss. Lost with Jericho. What are the matches? I don't know. I think Enzo and Cass won. I lost with Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. I won with Bray. So I think I was exactly 50-50. Talk about 50-50 booking. So 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. Oh, there's 7 matches. So I was 4-3. So batting a little bit above 500 here. So maybe I'm credible, maybe I'm not. Listen to me if you want. It's whatever. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. I told you just a quick review of whatever pay-per-view it was. Payback. That's what it was. I keep mixing this with Battleground, and I always do. I think Battleground already happened. They all clash. But one thing we are going to get is the most anticipated pay-per-view of the year, the Great Balls of Fire, coming soon. I think that's what it's called. It's the Big Balls of Fire or the Big Balls of Roman Reigns, something like that. Coming in June, I think. That's going to be the next one. I was going through the list the other day, and who knew it was going to be that? Because that wasn't updated at the time. So we're going to have, most likely, Braun versus Brock at the Great Balls of Fire come June. Braun is going to lose that match, and I'm going to be upset. But hopefully they steal the show. And hopefully they put on a hell of a performance. Don't know what's next for Roman. Don't know. I think Braun is going to get Brock. I should have said what's next for all these people. I kind of did it with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens and the Hardys. Bliss and Bayley is going to go another round, eventually maybe lead to Banks facing her. That would be a good match. Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe going to continue. Yeah, I mean, I kind of covered it all. I think so, and I got to study for finals because I got 2 tomorrow, and tomorrow's my last day of college for my freshman year. And speaking of, I just uploaded a whole bunch of speeches that I did, a whole bunch as in 3. It was an extra credit assignment, so if you see it on my YouTube channel, which you can find out all the above ENT, you can ignore it if you want, but I have a really good speech on why WWE, why pro wrestling should be an art form. So check that one out. Please, please, please do that for me. And I don't, it's not going to do anything for me, but check out the way my views, rate me on my speech, whatever you want to do. I got an A+ on it, so at this point, your rating doesn't matter. Luckily, my teachers already mattered. But anyways, please check that out because I want you guys to see how I look and see how I look and see who I am. And I'm not tall at all. I'm like 5'4". So just keep that in mind if you see the podium above my head. With all that being said, guys, you can find us once again on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes under the name All of the Above ENT. All of the Above ENT. Thank you guys for listening. I am your host, the one and only, the voice of the youth, Christian. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed Payback as much as I did, and enjoy Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live coming up this week as well. Signing out. Thank you. Oh, hey. This is Christian. Adjust whatever value, whatever. However, the 13 reasons why intro going. All right, yeah, I'm not done apparently because I just went on YouTube and saw that there was a clip of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman going at it backstage. And if that is everything there was, I seen a 1-minute YouTube clip. Roman Reigns ended up getting the upper hand. He was about to go into an ambulance, and Braun Strowman didn't have enough apparently. Braun Strowman ran into the door, took the door off. And Roman Reigns looks strong. So, at the end of the day, Roman always wins. That's my conclusion.
Oh my God! Strowman just tried to take out Reigns. Instead, he ran right through the back door of the ambulance. Wow.
Wow indeed, Booker.